Ethan Klein just single-handedly saved content creation. And so you may be asking yourself, Milza, how in the world did Ethan Klein just save content creation? Well, let me tell you. So unless you've been under a rock for the past few weeks, you'll know that Ethan Klein is about to complete the biggest heist since the Fleeka job in GTA 5. The heist in question is his massive lawsuit that came out recently against the Hassan orbiters known as Denims, Frogan, and Kaceytron. These three lady streamers are officially in the hot seat, as in Ethan's latest video he describes the callous and unsightly just copyright infringement that these three women have articulated from his content. Starting with Denims, she was caught on camera.
This is 4K! How did they get you in 4K?
Telling her fans of at least 40,000 viewers to literally watch Ethan's content through her stream only and to not support him whatsoever.
Themselves to admit that they're stealing content.
Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime if you like the content, if you enjoyed your time here.
It turns out they just do it for you.
Next, we have Frogan, the Twitch streamer who has been just completely buried in Twitch drama lately, has now found herself being called a content thief, and then has basically admitted guilt to this by now deleting her Twitch VODs in an attempt to tamper with evidence for Ethan's case.
Frogan, who, bless her soul, she's still rising.
Can I walk away and use the bathroom? Do I have permission? Can I use the bathroom, please? I'll leave it playing.
Well, you just pause it. That's it. You just pause the video, right? Like you get up and you go to the bathroom, you just pause it. They should be watching for you. But if you get up to go to the bathroom and they keep watching my video, they're clearly not watching for you, right?
And then last but not least, we have the very poor Kaceytron, who, to be honest, seems like she doesn't really know what's going on and is just basically trying to act like she doesn't know what Ethan's talking about.
Necessarily supporting Ethan Klein without necessarily supporting Ethan Klein.
Yeah, boy.
So we're gonna.
Kids don't do drugs. To add insult to injury, these three have all made massive GoFundMes in an effort to make money for these lawsuits for their legal fees and things of that nature. And to be honest, I think most of that money, if not all of it, is just gonna honestly go straight to H3's pockets. Now, to get serious for a minute, I honestly think this whole situation is pretty sad for them, especially the one big thing that I haven't seen many people talking about, and that's the fact that it doesn't seem like any three of them, excluding their whole little cabal, seem to have any real friends that are calling them out on this behavior or even, trying to offer any constructive criticism about the whole situation. To almost everyone, it is completely obvious that these three are guilty of their charges. Ethan baited them as geniusly as anyone else could have, and I mean, at this point, I really think the case is shut and closed. Another sad thing is they seem to think that the only defense they have is that Ethan's just some rich guy who hates women, which doesn't really make any sense, but I'm going to let that lie with the internet. I really don't see where they're getting this idea that he hates women and that he just wants to come after them because they're women. Clearly, you're stealing his content, you're saying bad things about him, and then you fell for a trap. That's what happened. That's what everybody else is seeing. I don't know where these delusions that he's some horrible misogynist for coming after you for this.
Now, before I tell you who the three people I'm suing are, I just want to make it clear that they all met this very specific high bar of criteria that I set forth earlier. These people were not targeted based on their gender, their identity, their political beliefs. All three are on this list. In fact, they're the only three, as far as I could tell, that reacted to the full video.
And it is a shame that Ethan even had to go through all this just to make a point, but I do think it is very understated, and it's something that I really don't see a lot of people talking about and giving him enough credit for, was the whole motive behind this whole thing. As he said in his video, allowing people like this to steal content en masse all the time is essentially just bad for everybody.
Sony or Disney comes along, sues everybody, and sets a devastating precedent that could endanger our entire field.
Their actions and just snide attitude overall towards content theft just sets a really bad precedent that anybody with a following can just decide when they want to siphon engagement from their competitors, either because they're just lazy or don't want to be entertaining on their own. It's actually, just as Ethan mentioned, this really slippery slope where really big players could get involved and shut down content creators, especially reacting creators as a whole. And fair use aside, just imagine the ripple effects that their actions could have had if, you know, big news corporations and things like that got involved with Twitch and YouTube and started coming after content creators for reacting to this stuff when that's what their audience wants to see. And then what if YouTube and Twitch decide to rewrite all of their guidelines regarding fair use policies? Everybody's screwed. And I'll just come out and say it. Everybody should be thanking Ethan, big following or small, for protecting your intellectual property by pursuing these three. I personally started my channel doing React content, and the whole thing for me was actually really fun. I love watching videos other people make. I love adding a lot of commentary to them. And honestly, I can turn a 10-minute video into a 40-minute video if I want to. Like, that is something that I would add to the video. But the problem with React content creation is when you don't add anything to it, when there's no value proposition added to the video of your own. You're just taking someone's content, sitting there, and then potentially getting up to go to the bathroom, leaving for a whole 10, 15-minute segments of the video, and then claiming the content as your own, going as far to even steal thumbnails. React content, in my opinion, really should be a way for everyone to win. And I think done correctly, it could be that way. I've even heard some people pursue the idea that we should just start doing split revenue on React content. And I would honestly be okay with that. Not that I make any money off YouTube anyway. But still, like, I really think that React content is a way for everyone to eat. But the problem is when you do it maliciously, when you are inciting theft against someone, when you're actively stealing from someone, it becomes a problem. So that's gonna be it for me today, guys. I honestly just want to make a video on this because, like, usually I try not to touch a whole lot of like online drama, but this was like so blatant to the point where I honestly thought it was staged. I thought the whole thing was staged. I was like, there's no way these three could be that ridiculously crazy to like steal from somebody and then admit to it on camera and think that they wouldn't come after them. I just couldn't believe it. So you guys let me know down in the comments how you feel about this situation. What do you think Ethan should do? Do you think the lawsuit's too far? Do you think, you know, this could have been, you know, handled behind closed doors? Or do you think we're getting what they deserve? So yeah, that'll be it for me today, guys. You guys have a good one. See you in the next one. Peace.